song. I'm bright on my day. Who'd have believed that you were part of a dream? Now it all seems like years away. You know I can't smile without you. Oh no, I can't smile without you. I can't laugh, I can't sing. I'm finding it hard to do anything, and I feel sad when you're sad. Oh no, I feel glad when you're glad. If you only knew what I'm going through, I just can't smile without you.
What is happening, people? Welcome back for your combined 11 video. It is Arsenal versus Tottenham this weekend in the North London derby. Always a big one, always a risky one in terms of it makes or breaks your season. But joining me for this combined 11 video is the wonderful Sophie, Arsenal content creator, Football Content Awards finalist. Great to meet her there. Sophie, how are you doing? Great to be talking to you once again today.
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. Thank you for inviting me on your channel. It's always lovely chatting with you about football. So yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. Really appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You're welcome anytime. Thank you so much. If you're listening, people on YouTube, please do like and subscribe. If you're listening via audio, so a podcast platform, drop us a follow and a 5-star review. But I'm very keen to hear from all of you because how this works, Combined 11, is we both give our team in terms of players that just fit and available, and also players that are out through injury. So that's the thing, we have both. So that's why I think it makes it interesting because right now both clubs have a lot of players out. So it'd be good. Don't get me wrong, it's still fun when you do it with players that are just fit, but it could be even better with all our Odegaards and Madison's fit. Put it that way. It should be good. But thank you for all joining us today. So Sophie, I'm going to start with you, if you don't mind. I'm going to do
Yeah,
your
that's fine.
one based on now, so it's relevant with players that are just fit, reportedly anyway, fit and available, sort of a bit up in the air, particularly for Arsenal. But I'm going to put yours on screen. So if you wouldn't mind, would you like to read it out 1 to 11, and then explain your thinking?
Yeah, definitely. So obviously Raya in goal for me. I think Raya. I just think Raya's in form at the moment, so it makes the most sense to put him there. I think Timber right back. I think he's just incredible at the moment. Like I'm enjoying watching him. So I've gone with Saliba, Van der Ven, obviously Calafiori. Obviously with Calafiori, we were talking about this off air. I'm hoping that he's pretty much okay to play and he's all good. I think he's definitely improved this season. Obviously gone with Saliba and Van der Ven. I think Saliba's doing good as well. Van der Ven as well. I have to give him a bit of credit. I think he's definitely having a good season. Obviously it is quite early-ish in the season, so it was definitely a tough decision there. I've gone with Zubimendi, Kudus and Rice. Obviously Rice has to be there. He's so good. I think Zubimendi. I think he's quite underrated a bit. I think he's going under the radar a bit. I think he's doing a really good job at the moment. Kudos again. I think he's definitely been getting a few assists. He's been getting goals. So I feel as though it is early in the season. You want to give them a bit of time. Obviously with Eze, I feel like I say the same reason again. It's so early, and I want to give Eze more time. Like he's not had an awful lot of goals, and he's had games where he's might have struggled to get into it. So obviously that's the reason why I've not put Eze there. My front three, I've gone with Saka on the right, Gyökeres up front, and Xavi on the left. So obviously Saka has definitely been a big part to play in Arsenal this season, their success. Getting first, he definitely helps us. I know he's had a few injuries as well, but he's a really big player for Arsenal. Gyökeres again has had a few injuries. I'm hoping that he is pretty much okay now. But he is someone that's definitely been growing as the season's gone on. He's done really good. I'm hoping that he will end up the season with maybe a little bit more goals, maybe like 20. But yeah, I think Gyökeres is early, but I think he's doing good. And I'm a big fan of Xavi. I think he's definitely doing good. I think again it is early in the season, so I feel some of these players need a bit of time. But I do enjoy watching him. I think he is a really good player. So, yeah, I mean, we're saying this off of Harry, but it's so hard to pick. I've gone over so many players. I'm like, I can't decide. But for me at the moment, how it's going, that's what I'd go for.
Sophie, thank you very much. Is there anyone for you that's in particular close? I mean, because there's so many players that are injured, I find it difficult to think of a name that comes to me straight away. But the only one that I would say is Romero. But of course, we know how
Yeah.
good Saliba is and how important he is to Arsenal fans. So for you, I don't want to get the whole debate, something about partnership is better. But yeah, how close do you view Romero to Saliba, or do you just think, look, Saliba's class and, he's got to be in there either way?
I think it's difficult because obviously Gabrielle is injured at the moment, so I feel like I probably would have put Gabrielle somewhere in there, but I think because he's injured, it's difficult. I think Saliba is very good. I think the only thing I'd probably say about Saliba this season is that we maybe haven't seen him attack as much as we know he can. And maybe, Van der Ven does that a bit more this season. But yeah, I think Romero as well, it's difficult. He's very good, but you look at Arsenal as well, we've had a good defensive record. We went through a lot of games without conceding, and it's not just on Saliba, it's on everyone at the back that's done such a great job, and Raya. But I think, I think, like I said, Spurs have got a really good defensive unit at the back. I think we're just a bit more above Tottenham at the moment with that. But yeah, it was a hard decision because there's a lot of great players you've got defensively as well. But I think Van der Ven's probably just being a bit more better for me. That's why I've gone for him.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate your honesty on that. I mean, I know that debate can often get quite nasty about the centre backs, but at the same time, I think it's credit to Saliba, it's credit to Gabriel,
Yeah.
it's credit to Van der Ven, and it's credit to Romero to be able to have this discussion because it's four excellent centre backs. And if I can put my football bias aside, I can see that. But Sophie, that is your team. Thank you very much for that. So let's bring up mine then with just players that are fit. And I mean, I don't think it looks great. And I don't mean that horribly in terms of so many players out for both sides. So mine is David Raya in goal. There are more Spurs players, by the way. I did try and be fair. I've got Timber at right back, though. I've got a Doggy at left back and Van der Ven and Romero as the centre back. It's really hard for me, that decision to make. Rice, Eze and Zubamendi in midfield. You'll notice that's an all Arsenal midfield. And then the more dominated Spurs attack, though, with Kyle Mwani, Xavi Simons, but Bukayo Saka on the right. So that is my team. Talk you through my thinking. I like Vicario. I think it's been good this season, but David Raya for me is just the difference between Vicario, who is a decent goalkeeper, and Raya, who's a great goalkeeper. Or to be a bit fairer to Vicario, it's good and great. That's how I'd see both of them. Vicario being the good one and Raya being just great, really close to world class. Timber at right back. I mean, I love Porro, don't get me wrong, but Timber is as good going forward as he is defensively. And I wouldn't have thought we'd been able to say that about a centre back. He really is. I think he's definitely better defensively, but still good going forward. I think he's secretly one of the better right backs in the league. And I think maybe goes a little bit under the radar. Again, painting to me as a Spurs fan, but again, just putting my bias aside. Romero and Van der Ven, the centre backs. Saliba is very close. He's very, very close. If Gabriel was fit, then I think we'd have a really interesting conversation. And to be honest with you, I'd probably change the formation to have a back three. I just view in recent months, I view Gabriel was a little bit more superior because of that attacking threat, which Sophie's spoken about there, and from set pieces that we just haven't seen from Saliba at all this season. We only saw a tiny bit as well last year. Go with the Doggy at left back. For me, it's literally a 50-50 between him and Calafiori. I have a little bit of a soft spot for a Doggy within the Spurs team. So, yeah, and he's just recently come back. But either of them, for me, it was a toss of a coin, it felt, with that one. Midfield, then, I think it's where Tottenham are struggling right now. I like Paulinho. I like Bentancur. They work really well together defensively, but we kind of play them as 2 6s and then Simmons in the 10. There's no balance to the midfield. There's no creativity in that midfield. For Arsenal, that's, for me, the reason they're doing so well. Rice, sitting, protecting the defence. Having said that, I think he's better when he gets in forward positions. Eze, he had to really click yet, but you mean the name himself and what he's capable of, we all know. And Zubamendi, I think, has been a really good signing, and again, a huge difference. It makes the midfield tick, really very key. So yeah, it feels harsh, of course, on Spurs, but I think generally that Arsenal are where they are for a reason, and I think the midfield is always a key part of that. Forward line, then, if I'm honest with you, this is where I'm not happy with the team. And Bukayo Saka, to be fair to him, I think he's a very good player. I think he's good. I think it's something, of course, I think he could do better, but I think he's a really good player. I think he's proven himself for club and country several occasions now, and he's absolutely Arsenal's right winger. Madueke does bring competition, but most importantly, I think does bring depth in terms of it allows Saka rest. Of course, so keeps him on his toes, but Saka for me definitely the starting right winger for Arsenal. But in this team definitely gets in there. I like Mohamed Kudus. I do, but for me, Saka's maybe a little bit at the moment in a better position. I'd love to have Kudus in, but again, pushing the bias aside. Striker then, I've read reports that Gyökeres could be out. So Sophie's going to, of course, is something different. That's the beauty and also the difficulty of not knowing who is fit after an international break, because we're just going off reports and we're going off a press conference, but both managers were didn't shut everything down, did they, Sophie? And press conferences, we weren't sure. So things like Gyökeres, we don't really know. Do you know what? Kylan Wani as well. We don't know, because I wasn't going to put him in here. But Gyökeres and Kylan Wani apparently both doubts for the game. So I've gone with Kylan Wani, who appears to be slightly more ahead in his injury progress. But just to be crystal clear, I like Wani, but Gyökeres I would have if I knew he was 100% fit. So just to be clear on that one. Then Simmons on the left-hand side. I think Trossard's a good player, Sophie mentioned.
Yeah.
Martinelli as well. But I see them as good moment players and impact players. Whereas I think Xavi, not now, so I get that, but over time, maybe a more consistent starter and consistent performer. Whereas if I'm looking to change a game, in particular Martinelli, but also Trossard, are the guys I'd turn to. So that's my thoughts on that. But so if you've got anything you maybe disagree with or want to challenge me on or ask me on?
Not really. I mean, it's your lineup, and I think some of it's difficult because injuries, we're not 100% sure. So I think if we don't know if Gyökeres is okay. Same with Calafiori. I think he's been really good this season. It's hard defensively as well because like you said, Romero as well, Van de Ven, they've definitely been good. It is early in the season. Well, I know we're kind of near halfway at the moment, but I think I'm interested to see how the second half of the season, if you guys can keep it up defensively, if we can continue that as well. As you mentioned, I think Gabriel is definitely. I think Gabriel Timber, do you think are our best defenders? I think you make a good point about Timber. I think that he's definitely great going forward. He's very skillful. I'm enjoying watching him, but defensively, as you mentioned, he's really good. It is hard as well with the midfield because, I think even though sometimes we're good, sometimes we're flying, we can get lots of goals, and other times we're struggling for that creativity. But yeah, I think it's fair what you put with some of the players up top as well. Obviously Saka, we know he loves this game and he's good. But yeah, it's tough with the injuries really at the moment.
It definitely is. Thank you, Sophie, for that. I'll come back to you now because this is your team. If we forget about injuries, but if you said to both Thomas Frank and Mikel Arteta, forget about injuries, you'd be their best friend right now. Or, they'd certainly come to you very quickly and shake your hand. But Sophie, read it again for us. Read it out 1 to 11 and explain your thinking. This is interesting.
Yeah, so I've gone with David Raya, Timber, Gabriel Van de Ven, Calafiori, Kudus, Zubimendi, Rice, Saka, Gyökeres, Xavi. So it is tough. It's hard as well. Obviously, I think Van de Ven deserves to be in there as well. I had to throw a Spurs defender in there. It's not anything to do with Saliba. Saliba's done really good, as you mentioned. I think he's quite close to Saliba. I think the only thing is that he goes maybe forward a bit more than Saliba. He maybe is better in the attacking sense at the moment, but I think it is a tough one. Obviously Gabriel for me I believe is our best defender up there with Timber. Calafiori again, he's good going forwards, and I think that he is a great player. I think people doubted him a bit last season. He had injuries and he's definitely grown throughout the season. Obviously the midfield, I obviously gone to Mendy, Rice, Kudus. I think Eze for me, it's so difficult. I think with Eze, it's hard. I think they're both sort of similar regarding you look at the stats, they both had similar things. But I think with Eze, sometimes when we've seen him play, I want him to get involved a bit more. And I think if he was, I would have put him there. But I think it's close. They're both great players. Obviously, the front three, I've gone with Saka, Gyökeres, Xavi. I think again, Gyökeres, I think, is a very good player. I think he's getting more goals. He's doing much better. I think again he's had to take a bit of time to adapt to the league and get used to it. Saka again, no, I don't have to explain too much, but we know how good Saka is with the goals, the creativity. He does a lot on the right, and I think he deserves credit. And again, gone with a Spurs player, Xavi Simons. I think he deserves credit for how good he is. I think he's a very exciting player to watch. So yeah, it's been tough to decide really, because as I mentioned, you know, Eze, if he got a bit more involved, I probably would have put him there. Obviously Saliba's doing great, but it's hard defensively because both sides have got good players as well. But yeah, that is obviously pretty much my lineup. I know obviously, I mean, Odegaard is really good, but I think this season, I think that I've not seen enough of him really to put him in there. I feel like I need to see him a bit more, but he's had lots of injuries. But yeah, that's pretty much my lineup really. That's why I picked it.
Thank you, Sophie. Again, I was going to ask you about Odegaard, but you've explained yourself there, so I won't ask you about that. But in terms of getting an extra, let's just say one Tottenham player in there, I mean, that midfield is really good. Kudus, Zubamendi and Rice. I mean, how close were you to going a little bit more attacking and maybe throwing someone like a James Maddison or Kulusevski in there if they were fit?
Yeah, it's hard. I think I think at the start of the season, I will say, I think Stephen Mendy struggled a little bit. If I'm being honest, I think he was like, you know, being a bit sloppy, losing the ball. And I do get when you come to a new league, it takes time to adapt. I think you've got great players like in midfield. Maddison, it's difficult with him. I think he's a great player. I just think his injuries is being a big problem at Tottenham. He's had quite a few injuries. But yeah, it's difficult with our midfield because I think now definitely feels Mendy has grown into a team with Declan Rice, and you know, when Mendy's not in the team, you notice how much you miss him. But yeah, it is tough because I guess it is more of a defensive lineup with Mendy and Rice in there. Obviously, it's tough. It's tough, isn't it? Because both teams have got you know, really strong players in the midfield position. So yeah, it was quite tough to pick, really.
Yeah, really tough. Absolutely. Thank you, Sophie. Really do appreciate you going through that. That's both of your teams. So, lastly, we'll go through mine then with all players. Again, the beauty of forgetting about injuries. So, a little bit different. So, I'll talk you through it. Raya in goal. I've gone with the fullbacks who are both Arsenal, Timber, and Calafiori, but two Spurs centre backs in Romero and Van der Ven. So, it's fairly balanced so far, just leaning towards the Arsenal side. That changes in midfield because I've got Kulusevski and Maddison at Tottenham, with Declan Rice sitting in midfield. I really do like that three. Then up front, I've gone Saka, Gyökeres and Xavi Simons. So it does favour Arsenal slightly, but there's some things, of course, I recognise are controversial. So I took you through what my noticeable changes. So Calafiori coming in at left back, which I know contradicts completely, doesn't it? My previous one, I put a doggy in. So literally, I've contradicted myself. But I think with everyone fit, my thinking is I think you can develop a really nice partnership with Maddison. So I'm going to justify it ever so slightly. I just think Maddison, I see him as the kind of coming to receive the ball on the turn. I just think they could, I could be completely wrong to put two and two together, but I think that could be quite a nice partnership down that side. So that's my team. And Gabriel gets extremely close. You know, for me, Van der Ven, it was before this season, Sophie, and I really love Van der Ven, but I would have gone with Romero and Gabriel. But just Van der Ven was great anyway last season with his recovery pace and so key to Ange's system with his pace and everything like that, tackling, etc. But this year, he's just used his height to his advantage and his aerial ability. He's Tottenham's top scorer in all competitions as we speak at the moment, and in every competition as well as all competitions. So it's really impressive. So for me, he has been there based on this season. And Romero's really stepped up to that captaincy role. Gabriel's been great. So if I'd done this team maybe again, I'd go with a 3-5-2. I've done it again, but I wanted to keep things simple. So that is the defence anyway. Midfield then, Maddison, I think probably just about maybe over Odegaard. I think his ceiling's a tiny bit higher than Odegaard. Having said that, I don't think Odegaard's consistent. But I think he might be even a tiny bit more consistent than Maddison. I like them both, but I don't see them as players you can rely on every single game or even in the big games, unfortunately. But I could be wrong again. Kulusevski I really like. For me, Tottenham's best player. First half of last season before he got injured. But it's really easy to forget because he's been out for nearly a year now. So I often forget. But when he's fit, for me, he's one of Tottenham's most creative and versatile players. Rice, need to say anymore, he's still in there from the team before. I really do like him. And then into the attack, Gyökeres up front for me is a no-brainer. I think he will get clicky, he will get going. Of course, it isn't maybe be disrespectful as easy as Portugal in terms of some of the leagues down, or some of the teams down the bottom of the league, are great. They aren't great at all. So I still think he will score goals, maybe not, of course, not as much as he did get at Portugal, but I still think he can do better than what we've seen so far. Give him time to settle in. Saka's still on the right and Xavi Simons on the left. I think both teams struggle for depth on that left-hand side.
Yeah.
Did think about Wanweke. How good is he on the left? That's the only thing that did stop me, but I really do like him, what I've seen when he has been fit. And for you, I think that's a huge blow, that depth and that quality. That's my team. Anything you strongly disagree with, Sophie, or you want to ask me about?
No, I think it's so, like you said, it's hard because like in each position there's like a few options you can really go for. It is tough. I think as you mentioned with Madueke, I think he was honestly like when he first came in, I was quite unsure about him, and I think he just looked like he was enjoying his football, and it's a shame he's got injured now because he was going on a really good run, and I think I mean I can't wait to see him and Saka hopefully play with each other as well. I agree with what you said about Gyökeres as well. Like you said, I think as we said this as well, defensively it is quite tough because both teams have got great defenses, and like I think we can have an argument with each of it. Like obviously, I think Romero's definitely improved. I think you've improved in a lot of areas. I think Arsenal as well, we're quite defensively strong. I think it's hard as well. I mean, Gabriel for me is definitely. I think he's Arsenal's best centre back and probably one of the best in the league as well. And it's hard for us because we've not really got anything to show for it. I mean, if you win things, you get a bit more credit for that. But I think the midfield as well, I think Declan Rice has definitely been doing good. I think he's definitely been worth every penny. I think if Maddison can stay fit, I think he's a really important player for Tottenham. But yeah, I mean, obviously, as well, you go with Timber and Calafiori. I think, like I said, it's about for both teams really. If they can keep the best players fit, they'll do really well. So yeah, I think that's good, really.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you very much, Sophie. That's both of our teams then. And for people who didn't see the combined 11 video, would you like to give your thoughts and score prediction ahead of Sunday's game?
Yeah, definitely. Like we said in the video, it's kind of nerve-wracking going into the game. I'm a bit nervous. I think, as I said, like after the international break, I'd rather us have a different game. But yeah, I think the team know how big this game is. I think it's going to be very close because defensively both teams are quite strong. But I think Arsenal will just edge it 2-1. I mean, I know a lot of fans like keeping the clean sheets, but in this game, like I think the win's important. Knowing it's a big game. Obviously, Arsenal have got a few injuries at the moment. I think Martinelli's still out. Obviously, hopefully Gyökeres and Calafiori are fit. We know Gabriel Magalhaes isn't available, so I think, and Tottenham as well, they've had quite a few injuries. So I feel like maybe this game hasn't come at the best time for either teams with the injuries. So yeah, I'm going to go 2-1. I think it will be a very close game.
Sophie, thank you. Really appreciate your time. Where can people find you and your content on social media?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, thank you again for having me on your channel. It's so lovely to always chat with you about Arsenal and Tottenham and just chatting about football. But yeah, if you want to find my channel, it's Guna Gossip TV. I do a little bit of different content. Obviously, I do chat a bit about England sometimes. Obviously, I do preview reviews like what Harry does as well. And I do try to interview people in football. And yeah, obviously that's pretty much what I do. And yeah, I've been doing it for a little while now. So if you want to check out my channel, that's where you can find me. And obviously, those are watching, do make sure you subscribe to Harry because he is doing amazing stuff.
Thank you. Talk about amazing stuff. That's totally you as well. So, Sophie, thank you again for coming on and keep
No
up
worries.
the great work. And congratulations again on being a Football Content Awards finalist. Great to as well finally meet you in person. It's always a pleasure to have you on and to talk to you, whether it be on your channel, my channel, and talk about all things, as you said, football, Premier League, Tottenham, Arsenal. It's always good fun. We can put the football rivalry aside and I like the honesty and,
Yeah.
also being balanced and fair. So really appreciate you. Definitely one of the better whole football fans, to be honest with you, out there. So always great to have you on. Thank you so much. If
Thank
people are
you.
listening, I really do appreciate you coming in. If you're listening via audio podcast platform, drop us a follow and a 5-star review. If you're listening on YouTube and you're new, please subscribe. If you like this in particular bit of content, please get involved. Let us know where you're listening from and how you're feeling right now as a Tottenham fan. Enjoy the game this weekend. And a massive come on, you Spurs. Thank you very much, all. And I'll see you very, very shortly. So, a lot of content coming up, of course, because it comes back, doesn't it, after the international break? It's 2 games a week. So, busy stuff, but wouldn't have it any other way. And we thank Sophie once again for joining me today.
Thank you.
Just like a song.